Konnichiwa. My name is Gabrielle Clark, and I'm going to do my presentation on fliita and niito and the difference between the two. So starting off with fliita, it is a Japanese expression for people who work part-time or are unemployed, and this excludes housewives or students. They earn about minimum wage, which is 1,000 yen to 1,400 yen an hour, and can also be described as underemployed, which means they don't start their career after high school or college and instead want to take time off to earn money. The term "Frita" came from the English word "free" and the German word "Arbeiter". The Japan Institute of Labor puts Fritas in three different types of categories. There's the moratorium type, which usually just wants to enjoy life and not join the rat race workforce. There's the dream pursuing type, which has specific dreams incompatible with a standard Japanese career. And then there's the no alternative type, which are people who couldn't find a decent job before high school or university, after graduation in the system called Shinsotsu Ikatsu Sayo, which is unique to Japan, and it is a system called the simultaneous recruiting of new graduates. This usually means that people if they can't find a job after high school, they are forced to take lower paying jobs. And this is usually due to any drop-off status of previous educational institutes. So at home, many Frieders live with their parents, since most parents won't force their children out of the house. And then when their parents die, they will then bear the cost of ownership and have to take over the house. So there are difficulties being a frita. The longer that you are one, the harder it is to find a career later on if you decide to join the workforce. Companies see workers as a lifetime investment and prefer those that are fresh out of high school because they're easier to mold. And part-time workers usually don't have any health or retirement benefits. So it makes trying to pay for medical expenses a lot harder when you're on a part-time job income. However, there are some advantages to being a friter. There's the freedom of choice. You usually have more times for your hobbies, volunteering, community service, and you can spend all your income on yourself if you are living with your parents. Next, we're going to be moving on to niito. NEET is an acronym that stands for Not in Education, Employment, or Training. This usually falls between the ages of 15 and 34 years of age and has originated from the UK. When this term was first introduced in the early 2000s, media portrayed NEET as young, unemployed workers as lazy, work shy, and voluntarily out of employment. This increased concern from the conservative middle-aged population. However, there is only about moderate support for the new youth policies. NEETs can also be categorized as hikikomori or otakus. Hikikomoris usually are categorized as shut-ins. They never leave their homes. They usually lack social skills, maybe due to anxiety, and are just way too shy. However, this does not classify them as NEET because some of them can work or study from home. And this kind of is similar to otakus, which can be defined as someone who is obsessed or has an excessive passion or fandom towards their hobby. However, this also doesn't really conclude them as NEET because some hobbies are very expensive and they would need to have some kind of part-time job to support their hobby. The number of NEETs have increased due to a lot of stricter employee qualifications within companies. The younger generations are becoming more and more discouraged when it comes to finding jobs, and they refuse to work labor jobs that won't earn them enough purchasing power, let's say to buy a house or a car. However, there are government programs to help support these types of people at universities and institutions to help people appreciate the workforce, and there's counseling to help them become more welcoming with social interactions. All right, that is my presentation on Frito and NEET, and these are my references. Sayonara.